Dear Diary, this is the first time I have written in you, so I want to tell you about myself. My name is Upeksha Rupasinghe. I live in Kaduwela, a city in Sri Lanka. I live on a small cattle farm. I am a student in grade 10. I love school. My favorite subjects are mathematics and science. I like learning about the world around me. This is where I live. If I lose you, I hope that someone find you and send you back to me. Sri Lanka is an island off the southern coast of India in Asia. It is a beautiful place to live. It was once known as the country of Ceylon. There are 21.5 million people that also live here. The biggest city is the capital, Colombo. Colombo is not very far away from where I live. Sri Lanka is a very green country. We have lots of different animals and plants. There are lots of fruits that I like to eat. The tea of my country is very famous, Ceylon tea. There are also rice, sugar canes, grains, beans, lentils, oil seeds, spices and rubber. Sri Lanka has many wildlife reserves which are home to a wide range of native species such as Asian elephants, leopards, sloth bears, a small type of deer called loris, a monkey called the purple-faced langur, wild boar, porcupines, and anteaters. My teacher also told me that many of these animals can only be found in Sri Lanka. She said they are endemic. She also said many of them are endangered. My father has taken us to special reserves to see many of these animals, but it is quite possible to see some of them around the cities as well. Many tourists come to see the elephants of Sri Lanka. Today I have to share something with you that changed my life. At first, it made me very confused and then deeply upset. But it also made me very excited. I feel like a superhero. I must tell you why. But I should start at the beginning. 2 weeks ago, my teacher took my class into the school hall. We didn't know what was going to happen. We were all very excited because we thought we were going to watch a play. But when we sat down, there was just one man and all he was talking about was water. His name was Mr. Tilakaratne. And he told us he worked for the United Nations Development Program. Obviously, he was an important person. He told us that he wants to make people and the environment healthier and that it was important that we learn how important water is to our lives. He said there are big problems with water all over the world, even in our country. He said approximately 780 million people currently lack access to safe drinking water and water resources are becoming scarce day by day. I know that the world population is around 7 billion. Did he mean more than 10% of the world population can't find safe water? I told you I'm good at mathematics. That's huge. But in our country, it was raining like cats and dogs outside. As usual, because Sri Lanka has a monsoon climate, we have a beautiful big river out there 100 meters away. I wasn't convinced by what he said. He said there are families and children like us who don't have clean water or toilets near their homes or even in their villages. I thought myself, how can this be true? At the moment, I recall visit my friend Sanchita in Polonnaruwa with my family. Sanchita lives in a village called Namalpokuna. After the long journey to see her, I was desperate to use the toilet. So when we got there, I rushed to the first one I saw. On the wall there was a plate that said, "Every drop matters, self-hygiene practices improve your health and well-being." When I got out, I asked what it meant, and Sanchita's neighbor started telling me and my mother about it.
We are very happy with these toilets. 48 toilets were constructed in our village. Before that, we were going to the forest for our needs. There were no water, no toilets. There were many diseases in the village.
At this point, my mother looked at me and said, I hope you wash your hands. Sanchita took me to the tub to wash my hands while she was telling about the water problem.
2 years ago, the drought was high and caused us many problems. Our parents went far away by foot or cycling to find water and did a great effort to transport water to home. Also, the collected tank water was not enough for family. We were affected by different diseases and problems. Sometimes missed school due to waterborne diseases. Drought has directly affected our income and livelihood because the farming and cattle farming mainly depend on water.
Waterborne diseases. She said that she missed school because of it, and many of her friends did so as well. I didn't really know what she meant by waterborne diseases. When I go home, I looked on the internet and everything I read said that they are caused by poor sanitation and hygiene. I learned that good sanitation means having facilities like toilets and washroom that don't expose you to human waste. Hygiene refers to conditions and practices that help to maintain health and prevent the spread of diseases, like washing your hands after using the toilet or before eating. As I read more, I was horrified when I learned that 40% of world population are affected by lack of sanitation, and it's children just like me, that they are often the worst affected by this. I read that having no safe sanitation often causes diarrhea and many other diseases with complex names. But the one thing they all had in common was that they can make you ill, very ill. I was amazed when I learned that a single gram of human faces poo to you and me can contain 10 million viruses, 1 million bacteria, 1000 parasites, and 100 parasite eggs. If you don't poo in a safe, clean toilet, flies can bring these things on your food. Oh, you end up eating it. And if you don't wash your hand, you can put those same things directly into your own mouth. It's terrible. And I felt so lucky that it wasn't a problem I had ever experienced. But it was thanks to the same man that came to our school, telling us all about these problems, that I don't need to worry about my friend Sanchita and her family. They help her family and their community build toilets and help bring safe, clean piped water to their village. And because I could wash my hands, I didn't get sick and enjoyed our holiday with Sanchita. Polonnaruwa, where Sanchita's family lives, is the ancient capital of Polonnaruwa Kingdom on our island. It is also the driest part of the country, especially in the dry season. I remember what Sanchita's younger brother Chamalaka said to me. He told me what the ancient king of Polonnaruwa said.
King Prakramabahu said every drop should use for drinking and farming before it runs to the sea.
When we were in Polonnaruwa, we visited the king's statue and the ancient ruins from when he lived. I learned that he built lakes to harvest rainwater and distribute it by special channels, so it could be used by people. The channels still exist today. Dear Diary, I couldn't write you for a couple of days because I had to do a lot of homework. My homework was about the Kalani River, the great river near my home. Did you know it's one of the longest rivers in Sri Lanka? Kalani Ganga, our precious river, stretches from all the way from the Sripada mountain down to Colombo. Once I traveled along the river from one end to other with my family. It is really beautiful, breathtaking. I will never forget what Miss Channa Pereira, who lived all his life by the river, said.
Water is needed for everything in life. Basically, if there's no water, there is no survival. For every living thing, you need water. It's a river which a lot of people survive on. We had to protect the river to see that it is not polluted and that it flows the way it is doing now.
That's why I was deeply disappointed when Mr. Tilakaratna, the man that came to our school, told us that the river is in danger. He told us that it is polluted, and if we, the people of Sri Lanka, don't do something, it will keep getting more polluted each and every day.
The water is polluted due to discharging of wastewater from industries, hotel, sometimes service station. In addition to that, the waste and pollutants are released by underserved settlements located along the river. Dumping of garbage on the river banks, sometimes directly to the sea, is another problem associated with this pollution problem. Pesticide and insecticides, sometimes fertilizer, coming from the agricultural field is also another problem for the declining of water quality. There are 2 industrial zones in Sri Lanka and many factories. They are responsible for discharging effluent to Kalani River without proper treating practices. The color is sometimes black, sometimes brown, sometimes purple.
Can you imagine drinking water that had black, brown, or even purple toxic liquids in it? That must have a very bad smell. I can't drink that. The Kalani River's water is being used to irrigation of all agriculture in this area. You eat something watered with smelly, colored water or a fish caught in it? I wouldn't. My mother's washed clothes in the river too. I wouldn't like my white school shirt be washed and turned into yellow or something in that water.
The water has very bad smell. You can't drink, bath or even use for any domestic purpose and other activities of people. Due to sanitary sewage and other chemicals mixing into water, the water is not very clean.
Hey Bob, මේ බලන්න අපිට කැලණි ගඟ රැක ගන්න නම් විශාල පිරිසිදු කිරීම කීපයක්ම කරන්න වෙයි වගේ. මේ බලන්නකෝ.
ඒක නේන්න. පේන හැටියට ගඟේ හැමතැනක්ම භයානක විදියට දූෂණය වෙමින් තියෙනවා වගේ.
හැබෑම නේන්න. දැනුවත් කිරීමේ මහාචාර්යතුමා මොකක් හරි ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක පැටලෙන්න වගේ.
තුමාණනි, අපේ හමුදා ලෑස්ති. අපිට කුෂි රසායන, කුණු කන්දල් වගේම කාර්මික අපද්‍රව්‍ය වලින් සිදු දූෂණ තත්ත්වයන්ගේ වාසිය ඉහළින්ම තියෙනවා. කොහේ හරි ඔබ යනවද උත්තමාවිය? ඊට කලින් දීත්ත ස්නානයක් ලබා ගැනීමට කැමතිද?
ඒක නෙමෙයි. ඔයාවයි ඔයාගේ විස බීජනාශක හමුදාවයි චුට්ටක් තම්බල ගන්න කොච්චරක් විතර තාප විකිරන ඕනේද?
අනේ විස බීජ ගොනු බෙල්ලන්නට මේ අපේ ගැත්තන්ට අයියෙන් දුවන්න විදිහක් නැද්ද?
අපි ඉවරෝ. ඒ ගෑණි තාප විකිරන ඉවනමු. ඕන් හරියටම ඔයාගේ පිටිපස්සේ.
මේ ආලෝක කිරණ ධාරා හරිම ප්‍රබලයි. මේවා මාව කම්මුතු කරනවා.
සේරම් බලවේග එකතු වුණත් එදාට උඹලගේ ඔය දූෂණ යෝධයින්ට ඉන්න හිටින්න තැන් නැති වේවි.
විස බීජයෝ කියාපම් මට කොහෙද මහාචාර්යතුමාව හැංගුවේ කියලා.
අම්මෝ අපි ආව කාමරේක අකුළු දෙමු.
මහාචාර්යතුමා ඔබ ඉන්නවද? උන් මාව මේකට දාලා අගුළු දැම්මා. අනේ කරුණා කරලා මාව බේරගන්න. සියල්ලන්ම සෑම ජල බිඳුමක්ක වටිනවා කියා සිතන්නේ නම් මොනතරම් විශිෂ්ට බලවේගයක්.
Isn't it cool? Did you notice what the Illuminates roped through to deactivate king pollutants were? Public government, local authorities, private sectors, and school children. Yes, As Mr. Tilakaratna said, we are the pollution terminators.
We identified responsible stakeholders for the conservation and management of Kalani River. We have developed non-degradable collection program with the help of students.
Dear Diary, sorry I haven't written in you for a few days again. As always, lots of homework. We have been learning what degradable and non-degradable means at school. Very important. As we become more technologically advanced, we use to materials that can withstand extreme temperatures, are durable and easy to use. Plastic bags, synthetics, plastic bottles, tin cans and computer hardware, these are some of the things that make life easy for us. We don't give a second thought what happened to them after we throw them away. But what we forget is that these advanced products do not break down naturally. When we throw them in the rubbish, the air, moisture, climate or soil cannot break them down so that they return to the environment and the surrounding land. They are not biodegradable. However, natural products and their waste often break down easily when they are thrown away. They are biodegradable. I feel really bad now that I realize that I used to help King Pollutanticious unconsciously till that day. What am I meant to do with all this that don't break down? Luckily, Mr. Nanayakar had a solution and the work he has been doing. He has been telling my class what to do.
We collect waste separately at source. By using degradable waste, we produce compost. It takes nearly 10 tons of polythene for the recycling, and we send electronic items to the producers and the sellers to recycle them. 2 or 3 years back, this soil, this land is also a dumping site. So we use this to dump our waste. That means when the garbage degrade, the leachate went to the Kalani River. Now all the waste we collect at generation point and we take them to here and we use them in environmental friendly manner. For the contamination of the river is reduced. Please separate your waste and force your parents to separate your waste and please hand over it to collection system as separated waste.
My friends and I realized that this is our mission, make our river clean. We told our parents to come with us to a meeting of a project called Every Drop Matters. Immediately after their meeting ended, as one of the earliest supporters, I asked the people what they have learned.
20 years ago, the Kalani River was very attractive, and also we were able to bath and time to time visited to see the beauty of the Kalani River. Further, use the water for domestic purpose, including for drinking. Now we feel Kalani River is polluted. We can see lot of waste besides the river and in the water, which is very sad.
To separate waste and hand over to municipal council. I think this is my responsibility as well as benefit for my children.
Yes, now we all know how to handle ugly, dirty, dangerous pollutants and how to change them into useful material. Dear Diary, since I started writing in you, I have learned a lot about water. I feel lucky that many of the problems people experience throughout the world, and even in Sri Lanka, don't affect me, but I'm also sad that these people suffer because they are not as lucky as me. Water is a precious thing. It is the lifeblood of everything on our beautiful planet. But I think we have forgotten this. Now I know what I am going to do when I grow up. I will work for children to have them access to clean water and proper toilets, so they don't suffer. I will fight with pollutants to keep children away from diseases. And I won't let our beautiful rivers to turn into dirty, stinky sewage channels. I want to tell the world that we all need to do this. Oh, I have to go. My mother is calling. Until tomorrow. See you later.